Hello and welcome to Sol Brothers Podcast, the finest podcast on Solana with my dear friend Eno and myself, Simon, where it is our job to throw you into the Solana rabbit hole and show you around in this exciting ecosystem.
We're on a mission to take you on the latest and greatest so that you never run out of fun things to talk about. Simon, how are you?
Not too bad, not too bad. I arrived in Seoul a few days ago, got a little bit sick, but I'm locked in and following the markets. Today has been a quite crazy day on the charts, not gonna lie. So we're gonna look into that and what happened over there and what might happen next. And it's the second time we're streaming this week. So from now on, Soul Brothers are going to be live twice a week for everyone. That also means double the content on our socials. So wherever you're listening to this, you can expect a little bit more content from now on that particular platform, wherever you are. So that's going to be exciting as well. How are you? You all right?
Yeah, I'm doing okay. Just as you know, juggling a million things. As are you. You're also juggling a million things. We're all just trying to make it.
Yep, exactly. We're all just trying to make it. And if you are trying to make it by leverage trade Solana, then you might got wrecked today. So my condolences. We feel you. We all been there, or we are there. Today has been a choppy day. I think you've been out on the road, so you might haven't seen it really. But the Sol price literally dumped within 10 seconds from 235 to 220 in one big red candle.
Okay.
And all my I opened like 3 different group chats, and the only message that I read in these chats was just like, "What the fuck?" That was the only thing. That was like, "What the fuck?" Because no one was like, "Okay, what just happened?" Like, what? Sometimes you can't explain, and I won't be able to explain to you guys why we dropped right now. But it's not a major move, right? It's just for this short period of time, for like a 10-second time frame. This was a pretty big red candle. It looked like some big whales just offloaded a bit of Sol into the market. So yeah, a bit of a crazy start to the week, not gonna lie.
Kind of crazy to me that they would choose to just market sell when they could probably arrange. There are so many DATs now on Solana. It's like, bro, just hit up the DATs. Like, they'll buy it at a small discount, and you'll probably get a better price for it. I know that's super complicated.
You're being nice. You're being nice to the players here. I think this has less to do with people selling their Sol to take profits and more to do with what we might call market manipulation, if you want to say so. It is, crypto is still a rather small industry. The market cap of Solana compared to the market cap of gold or a major asset that's been trading since a while on exchanges, it's just really low. So bigger fishes still have quite some pull when it comes to moving the markets. And so I've been saying it last week, right? If you remember, I said things like, do you think the big players, the smart money, is going to tell you when they will buy Solana and then let you front run them? And I was like, no way. And I think they didn't let you front run them, as you just see. This is a bit of conspiracy theory, but they could just push some announcements, make sure that retail gets really excited about Solana, push up the price. There were a bunch of longs being opened. I check the liquidation chart every day, and you can see how the liquidation levels getting filled up from 220 to 225 to 230. So people are, taking on leverage. They're getting increasingly bullish. And then you do that for a week. You push some announcements, and then you just wipe all these people out in one red candle. if you have some pull. So that's pretty much what happened. So yeah, we're gonna take a look at that today. We're gonna take a look at the charts real quick at the beginning. But besides that, we also have some ecosystem news from projects on Solana that just launched potentially new exciting tech on Sol. So we're going to talk about this in a bit as well. And are you ready to dive in,
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go straight into the most comfortable part of the podcast. I will bring it up onto the stage. Simon's TA, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's take a look at Bitcoin, because the Bitcoin chart right now looks a bit cleaner than the Sol chart. So let's start with the clean chart here. Let's zoom out a little bit into the daily. And right now, I think, so we're in this little retrace here. But it's in the daily chart, it looks actually really, really healthy. We're in the fifth wave right now into the upside here. In a fifth wave, really, which is also the reason why this market right now might feel a little bit different than previous Q4 rallies that we saw 2021, for example, where we have been, according to Elliott wave theory, in a wave 3 of a structure that was much more violent and much more quick and impulsive. While right now, in a fifth wave, it can extend a little bit. It's a bit slow. It's not so impulsive. So yes, it is different, right? Anyway, we are in this microstructure here, in a pullback right now. And the thing is, if you look in the daily chart, actually in this other Bitcoin chart here, we can check it even better. If you look on the daily chart, you can see that Bitcoin has touched the 35 moving average, 350 moving average, sorry, at least 4 times before. And that moving average right now is hovering here around, well, 100K really, right? 100K Bitcoin price. So it's not really shocking to see that Bitcoin is retracing right now. And it wouldn't be shocking to see an even larger retrace, right? So it is, I'm just putting that out there, that it's definitely an option right now, that before we see another push to the upside, kind of a last stretch, before we see that, we might test this moving average again, which would bring us as low as 100K Bitcoin. And you can imagine where Solana will be if we drop, if Bitcoin drops to 100K, right? Solana usually follows. And it would also align a little bit with the Elliott waves here, because we have this 1, 2, 3 setup that we topped in the mid-August. Then we pulled back until end of August. And then September started strong around the Fed cuts. We saw quite a good increase here, which we thought is going to be the next, the next leg up. But again, it's a 1, 2, 3. And now we're stuck in this fourth wave here. And what I need to see now is we need the rejection on this red line here around 112,000, which is literally where we are right now. We got rejected there. If this support holds and we go up into a fifth wave, that would be bullish. There would be potentially a signal that the fourth wave is in, right? If we don't see the support holding, and today was we already broke kind of a important resistance line on the Bitcoin chart, which was around 14K. And now we're at 12, right? So if we break this as well, I think we might go lower, and we might complete the fourth wave in a deeper correction, and might even touch the 350 moving average. So without going into too much detail, because Solana behaves quite similar here, we did see a pretty brutal candle today here on the Sol chart that brought us down to $213, which I did not expect. Yesterday, I thought, okay, we might see 228-ish and go up from there. But yeah, we are deep in correction right now here in this fourth wave on the Sol chart in the microstructure. So we might chop a bit around here, because the market is definitely going to be uncertain right now where to go, up or down. So typical fourth wave behavior, again, it's going to be a bit choppy. And my primary scenario, again, is that we recover from here into a fifth wave to the upside to complete this third wave. In a bearish scenario, which I would say has like 40% chance maybe, so not a low chance, then we might already touch this extension here for this third wave. We topped out already, and we might be now on our way lower. Then we have to recount the structure a little bit, right? So yeah, I think TLDR is that it is pretty uncertain right now where to go next, but the trend is up. Okay, the trend remains up until Bitcoin can go as low as 100K, and the trend remains up. So this phase right now we're in, from $230 to $200-ish, could be accumulation phase for the whales again, right? Where they just buy to anticipate the next stretch to the upside, because Solana is still primed to perform really bullish. I think $300 is very feasible, potentially even in the next weeks, after we're done with this little brutal correction that we're looking at right now.
The market was really frothy last week, so I think that there was a bunch of jubilant celebration over like all of this purchasing activity from the DATs, and many of them were buying, on the market, and it's always good to, at least for the moment, to live there. But in reality, though, the market is not always so kind.
Nope. Yeah, you should, but that's the thing. Like, especially now when you think we're going south, this is when you might want to consider again to put some chips on the table. because what we all did in our endless wisdom is we probably opened our longs when we were on our way up, $240, $245. And if you're listening to this right now and you open longs up there, that's totally fine. Like, we all do that stuff because we think now's the time we're going higher. But this is when the big guys, that's what they want you to do. And then when the market is bleeding again and the fears on the streets, then they just come in again and buy. So it's tricky, right? It's tricky. Trading is not easy. That's why we say investing is definitely the safer part when it comes to these things, or just buying spot might be the better choice here.
Yeah. I actually think that this chart over here is super interesting, which is the multiples at which Solana trades. Versus the amount of TVL in Solana DeFi. And I didn't realize that at certain points in Solana history, and maybe I'm reading this graph incorrectly, but it seems like, ecosystem TVL. That's super interesting. 3.75. What am I reading here, Simon? So
the ecosystem TVL is basically escaping the fully diluted market cap divided by ecosystem TVL, which is the other graph that we're looking at.
Right. I see.
So yeah, I think that it just means also that it might be an indicator for undervalued asset of Sol, since the economic activity on the chain, in this case, not valued in revenue, but valued in total value deposited.
Right.
This mark goes up while the price is either stagnant, or at least the price is growing at a much lesser rate than the TVL.
Yeah, right. Okay. No, sorry. At first, I thought the purple line was Solana market cap. I wasn't paying attention to the Y axis, and so I got a little confused for a second. I was like, wait, that cannot be true. But yes, okay, I see. I get it.
Yeah. It's in relation to the ecosystem TVL, right? That's the purple line.
Right.
That we're looking on. But it's still like it's trending down, while TVL is obviously extremely spiking to the upside. So yeah, might be a interesting chart to look at when you want to value this asset, because at the end of the day, all ones depend on ecosystem growth.
It's crazy to me that at certain points in Solana's history, like, we traded over like 24x of the value of the underlying TVL. That is what you call speculation, ladies and gentlemen.
Speculadies. Look at 2023 to 2025, basically that period. That's what you're talking about, right? Where you have this big cliff between the two lines. After FTX kind of looked like a dead, like there's no TVL. Everyone pulled their money out. And it stayed like this for a year, right? It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, so, I mean, this just goes to show that the health of Solana DeFi protocols is at an all-time high activity as well. And I'm sure a lot of it has to, especially recently, the TVL has a lot to do with the amount of SOL deposits, in Solana, and if the price pumps, then obviously the TVL is going to pump. But just in general, Solana DeFi has gotten much more mature. And I had a conversation with some ETH builders / KOLs yesterday randomly in a cafe. And I like to do user interviews with people from different ecosystems and be like, what do you think about Solana? Like, why aren't you using it? Like, would you ever consider building here? And they said, unironically, and I think you might have saw this tweet, but we don't consider building on Solana because there's nothing going on in Solana DeFi. And I'm not even mad. It just means that, clearly there are things, they're living under a rock. There are many things happening in Solana DeFi, but they're in their own echo chamber. And so, we have a lot of work to do to reach across the aisle and let them know all the wonderful things that we're doing in the space.
Yeah. Do you think we're doing a good job on that? Like, as an ecosystem, as a brand, as builders, as project, as foundation?
I mean, I think we're starting to, and in fact, even some of the strategic moves that we're making in Soul Brothers are made specifically for that purpose, because we realize that we can't, grow the Solana ecosystem and our bags if we're not bringing on fresh talent from other ecosystems, because we need Solana. Like, you know that phrase, "Software will eat the world." Solana needs to eat the world, and the only way that happens is if people like you and me are going to shout it from the rooftops and talk about all the latest and greatest on Solana on a weekly, bi-weekly, twice a week basis.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
I think another interesting stat for this month, Lily is obviously the president of Solana Foundation, and she wants to talk about revenue as a North Star metric for all protocols. And if you're looking at Solana just in the month of August, I mean, the top 10 apps by revenue earned just about $200 million in the month of August. Like, that is real economic activity. I would like to rebrand Solana as the unicorn chain.
Yeah, the revenue chain, the chain that makes money. It is actually pretty funny if you compare this to other ecosystems. There's no other blockchain, despite the ETH ecosystem, that is making these revenues, and even ETH is below Solana. So it's pretty insane to think about that. Considering, again, put this in perspective to the market cap of the asset. Right? Like, Solana is the smaller market cap, right, compared to ETH especially, and we're still making more revenue here. So yeah, fuck that. Like, we don't need to look at market cap. Like, it doesn't, like, what matters is how much revenue is being made, really, because that shows economic activity. And in my little analogy that I usually use, where each blockchain is a little city, right, where you have shops and consumers and so on, Solana is booming. Like, the city is bursting with activity. There's people on the streets that are buying and selling shit while the other towns are ghost towns. So I think that's pretty important to consider when you think about what ecosystem I should join as an investor or builder or whatever.
So would that make what would that make Ethereum? Is Ethereum like Europe almost in that sense, where it's like there's a lot of money, there's a lot of capital, but there's just not a lot of economic activity, on the day-to-day basis?
Yeah. It is like, it's a lot of quiet money, I would say. Dormant money as well. It's a little bit like those small countries in Europe, Liechtenstein, Luxembourg, Switzerland, where you have money, but everything is a bit slow, everything's a bit, bit settled. There's not so much going on, while Solana is like it's like fucking Hong Kong, Tokyo, it's like on fire, there's shit is happening in the streets.
Yeah, I mean, and just like Europe, we pay respect to all of the culture and the contributions that Europe has made to the world, right? Like, make no mistake, like, people like to shit on Europe all the time, but actually, you're welcome, because Europe has contributed so much to the way that we think about politics, the way that we think about the world, art, fashion, you name it, right? But maybe not the hottest place to build anymore.
Ethereum is the Europe of the blockchains. It's also the Microsoft, and Solana is the Apple. That's another analogy that we sometimes hear. I don't know if we saw that before, but some people say that as well.
I've never, you know what? I think we just stumbled on the perfect analogy. I think we should start using that a lot more. Is that Ethereum is exactly Europe. We love Europe. Europe has done a lot of great things for the world. It's also fucking slow, and it's very fragmented, and people just don't get along. And they have,
Okay, let's pause here.
Relax. But speaking of more positive news, we have friends over at Titan Exchange who have just announced a $7 million seed raise led by Galaxy Ventures. And of course, the product is also live now. So I've been seeing a whole bunch of screenshots throughout the last couple of days talking about arbitrage, as well as how much money people are saving on different swaps. Like, it's clear that Titan is getting some pretty major publicity and also performance.
100%. So for people who do live under a rock, Titan is supposed to be the pros gateway to Solana's internet capital markets. That's what the protocol calls himself. To date, they have built Solana's first and foremost meta aggregator, which aggregates all of Solana's major routers to provide the best possible price for users. And in addition, they also have built an API. It's Solana's most performant aggregator router, which you can access via an API, which is also now basically accessible for people. And they call it Titan Prime API. It will roll out in phases and is currently, I think, on waitlist status. But yeah, we do have a new player on the map, definitely now loud out there in the world, which is competing with existing DEXs on Solana and DEX aggregators on Solana as we have, because so far Jupiter has been gobbling up most of the market share for a good reason, because Jupiter works really, really well. But Titan is now saying, hey, you can execute swaps in more price efficient manner with us, which is a big statement.
Yes, no, it totally is. So congratulations to our friends over at Titan, Andrew, Tim, Chris. Congratulations, boys, and wish you all success in the future. And in terms of other product news, obviously, Simon, do you love Meteora?
Meteora is great. Meteora is great. It's a great asset for the whole Solana ecosystem. And I think the latest news, pretty interesting.
Yes. So I don't really understand this NFT distributor airdrop mechanic, and that's just because I have not been paying too close attention to. I did see a post about this, but it was related to something else. I think it was more for the Jupiter airdrop. Sorry, excuse me. The Met airdrop for Jupiter stakers does have a NFT mechanism by which, like, you open a DLMM position directly onto Meteora, and that's how you claim your Met tokens. So, like, do you know a little bit more about how this works exactly?
Yeah, so you get an NFT airdropped, basically, that represents your active liquidity position in a token. If you have the token in a DAMM V2 pool. And they do this to basically align the holders instantly from the start. So if you remove the NFT position again from the pool, then you receive a balance of the tokens and USDC. So we've seen, I mean, it's not the first time in DeFi that we're seeing NFTs being used for liquidity provisioning. Orca has been doing this since a long time with their World Pool mechanic, where you also hold an NFT in your wallet as long as you keep the position alive. It is a bit of a different setup here. It's not the same. In our case here, I think the NFT acts as your ownership key and a share of the pool, and it's rewards basically. So and you can. The cool thing is as well, one side fact, I think you can get your hands on these NFTs already before the token even launched.
Yeah,
that is also possible.
The only other time that I've seen this throughout the ecosystem, but like where I've personally experienced it is LPing on Orca. So Orca also gives you an NFT that represents your LP position, and in order to get your tokens back from the pool, plus whatever fees are associated with it, you have to exchange it back for that NFT. And I get really nervous sometimes because I remember when I was doing the ISC point system, we saw people burning those NFTs. And I'm like, no, that is your LP position. What are you doing? And like, we gave people so many warnings, but when people see, I mean, they're just not educated on like what that user experience looks like. They just assume that they can connect their wallet and then get back their share of tokens, but you actually need the NFT in order to claim back those tokens. So yeah, please don't be burning all your NFTs. Make sure that they don't represent LP positions.
Yeah, you should. I mean, it's always good to burn spam tokens, but take a good look before you click that button. Once they're gone, they're gone.
Yeah, no, that is absolutely true. And bringing up a really exciting piece of news, and I mean, I think I don't know if you're excited about this. I think that at certain points in your journey, you probably used this product for a period of time. I am, of course, talking about one of the founders of Consensus, CEO Joe Lubin, who said that the MetaMask token is coming and may arrive sooner than you would expect. Unfortunately, we don't have audio for this video right now. But yes, right here, what you see is the founder of Consensus. Consensus is building, of course, a bunch of products, which includes MetaMask. And so it looks like we're going to get a mask token, Simon.
Yeah, people have been talking about it since a while, but no one really believed in it until now. Because now it seemed to be a bit more pretty direct, the statements that have been made. Polymarket prediction for mask token went immediately up above 50% for this year even. I don't know where they're now, but last time I checked it was like 60%. So yeah, it seems like it's coming, you know. I think we don't have confirmation, obviously, that there's going to be a token, but at least we do hear some significant voices from people like Joe Lubin that talk about it. The thing is, what I've seen a lot on the timeline, obviously, everyone is starting to map out how big could the airdrop be, yada yada yada. Obviously, MetaMask is expected to have a multi-billion-dollar valuation as a the leading wallet in whole crypto ecosystem. So that is pretty big value associated with the asset, but they also have a shitload of users. If you count every single user, it's in the 3-digit million. So like 100 million users is not an unrealistic number that is estimated for right now for MetaMask users. If you want to airdrop them all, it's not going to be a big airdrop, right? If there's going to be some sort of affiliated or some sort of mechanics that put the bots aside and so on, and maybe if you swapped a lot, if you had more holdings, you get more and so on, it might be more significant. Again, I wouldn't expect too much from an airdrop. I think the more exciting fact is, okay, what does it mean if MetaMask has a token? What is it going to be used for? How is it going to be installed into the ecosystem? Because right now, I don't know a lot of wallets with tokens. At least on Solana, we don't really have them.
Yeah. I mean, Phantom doesn't have a token. Soulflare doesn't have a token. Jupiter does have a token, but that's different because Jupiter is an ecosystem of products.
Yes. It's not the token is not related to their Jupiter wallet,
bubble,
really, right?
Yeah. Right. It's an interesting play. But with the new meta being revenue and buybacks of the token, I used to be very skeptical of projects launching tokens at all. In fact, I used to hold the position that like only really 10% of the protocols that I see here should really be launching tokens. But now like my position has really changed where I feel like any revenue generating business has a legitimate reason to launch a token. And MetaMask, Simon, is definitely a fucking revenue generating business. They print money.
Exactly. And I think that could be the kind of factor that makes this whole thing interesting, right?
Yeah. Like you said, they have a huge user base. They're obviously printing money, and so like now, I think that there is a legitimate reason why you might want to launch a token. And speaking of wallets, we love to talk about our partners over at Soulflare. We love Soulflare. And they are sponsoring a bunch of games on Moonwalk. We, of course, had the illustrious Nam on the podcast last week, and he is the co-founder of Moonwalk. And how does Moonwalk work, Simon?
Moonwalk works in a way where you can connect it to your Google Health or Apple Health, and it will track your steps that you do every day. And you can then participate in competitions with community members, with projects. When you're on site at an event, there might be people that host competitions, and these competitions have a prize pool, and you are fighting for the prize pool with a simple leaderboard based on your steps. So if you contribute $25 for the competition, and everyone contributes $25, for example, so it's kind of a co-hosted competition where everyone puts chips a little bit in, then you can take the whole pot if you walk the most steps from the whole group. Usually it's like a 1 to 3rd place kind of setup, but now with Soulflare you have a special setup where they, as I understand, they will set a prize pool, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
And then you can join the Moonwalk with Guardians basically, and compete with the other Guardians in the community for steps every day. So yeah, I've seen some crazy founders and friends that just did all their calls on a treadmill and just went to the park every day and shit like this because they've been really serious about it. It's a great way to gamify your steps, right?
Yeah, I mean, do you know Dylan, the founder of Dead King Society, DKS?
Yeah.
So he is actually a legend in the Moonwalk community because he frequently walks anywhere from 25 to 40,000 steps a day, which is, I mean, in a single day is not that crazy, right? Like if you spend enough time in Disneyland or just spend all day like outside, like you could see how in a day you would walk 25 to 40,000 steps. What makes it insane is they does it every single day, right? In the past, when I've been on calls with Dylan, like this is almost like over a year ago, but in the past when I've been on a call with him, like dude is always walking. He's taking his meetings outside.
That's what I mean. Yeah. I mean, mad respect. It's definitely healthy.
Yeah, very very healthy, and definitely should be picking up that habit sometime soon. The next piece of news is, of course, from our friends over at Solana Name Service. We saw Ohm. Did you see Ohm today?
I saw her, but I didn't say hi because I didn't catch her.
Yeah,
but I saw her jumping around. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw her for like a very quick second, and then she had to jet off to somewhere else because she's very busy being her. She's doing her job very confidently. And there is a new integration with a messaging service called Cherry.fun. And now you can use your .sol domain in the application. So just checking out what the Cherry.fun service is. Wallets talk, right? So number one Solana Messenger. So I would actually like to play around with this product and see how it works. But it is apparently the number one messenger on Solana. They're live on iOS, Android, and most importantly, Solana Mobile. And of course, there's no token.
I love that in the bio. It's like no token.
Yes,
that's great. Yeah, Cherry is actually really cool. I'm also in touch with the team for some other things, and it's a cool product. Not gonna lie, wallet messaging, just it's really important as well, just for simple features like DMs, but also notifications and so on. And now using your .sol domain makes a lot of sense, right? Like I don't wanna memorize emails pubkey, but if I can just put in Korean cocaine energy.sol, then it's much easier for me to send over some messages to my friend.
Yeah, I mean the use cases here are pretty endless, but the most important thing is connecting on-chain activity to a person, and not so much in the identity way. Like some people might want to stay anonymous. Obviously, there are many use cases for why you would want your identity linked to a particular address. But let's say that you were a non and you had no interest in your on-chain identity, like being doxxed. Let's say, like of course you might want an on-chain identity, but maybe not like a doxed on-chain identity. But this would allow you to send private messages to a wallet that has, let's say, fulfilling certain criteria, or they hold an NFT that you hold, and so that seems really interesting to have a way to communicate with folks via their wallets.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Definitely lots going on. We have a post as well that we could dive into, which is all big things that happened on Solana in the past week. It's actually a really cool format that I've been seeing on the timeline from the Solana account.
Yes.
And I think it is definitely worth just going through some of these big announcements that happened, because it's a great TLDR of things that happened, and we might have mentioned a few of these already, or you might have seen them on the timeline, but maybe there's some that you missed as well. So do you wanna give like a quick rundown on all the great things that happened in the past 10 days?
Yeah, I mean we've definitely, just because we cover Solana news so much, we've touched many of these topics. For example, we were aware last week that Helios had raised 500 million, I think, through a pipe, if I'm not mistaken. This is I'm going to take a quick pause over here to congratulate our friends over at Rockaway X. Obviously, Simon and I are big fans of Rockaway X because they've been supporting this ecosystem, both in terms of investor checks as well as liquidity into DeFi protocols for many, many years. So we're very thankful for all the work that Rockaway X does. And they are, one of the main folks that are running Soulmate, which is going to be they raised 300 million specifically from Kathy from ARK Investments, right? Which is pretty crazy. And this Solana treasury is what makes it special is it's based out of the UAE. So it looks like it's time to hit up hit up Alex.
That's really cool. Yeah. Where's the ticker Brea?
That is a very good question. I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to make it out right now, but I don't know. The first time when I looked at it, I was like, is it Bera? I was like, why would they call it Bera, like Bera chain? But no, it's Brea.
Brea. Yeah, something like that.
Right.
Yeah, I'm sure it must have been the original name of the company or whatever vehicle it is that they bought. But obviously, our Soulmate is one of the latest stats, in the ecosystem, and it's coming out of the UAE. Some other
The next one, actually, that one is really cool as well. Spend.shop. I don't know if you've seen that already, but I've been looking at it, and it's actually a really interesting product. Hackathon winner that is also building something really interesting and easy to understand, which is spend your crypto directly to order on Amazon. So you can literally copy and paste the Amazon URL from whatever item you want to buy to the Spend platform on their website, and then they will add that item to your cart in that platform, and then you check out with USDC on Sol with the wallet, and they will in the back do the normal kind of user flow that you get from Amazon, where it just spawns on your doorstep. So really cool, man. Like, it's actually a really nice project. So shout out to Spend. And if you want to not off-ramp your crypto and instead just directly buy from Amazon, then do it on spend.shop.
Yeah, that is actually super cool. I like to see use cases like that. People who are being super scrappy. And I mean, obviously, people might be like, well, Amazon can kill your business by just incorporating stablecoins. Well, Amazon is a huge conglomeration, and God knows when they're going to integrate stablecoins. So you can build a really substantial business off of something like this.
Yep. Agreed.
Is this the bangers that we know? Is that her?
Yeah.
It is the bangers that we know. So what has she launched? She's launched Gib.meme, a meme coin TCG trading card game on Solana. What has Bangers done here? This is interesting. This is cool artwork. We got Popcat, Fartcoin.
I mean, she's been into art since a while. I think that's where she came from originally. Doing kind of internet art, really cool stuff. And this looks very much like her. Lots of colors, lots of crazy vibes, a little bit like, looks like you're on some crazy LSD trip. And that's how the art looks like. And obviously the whole card game thing is really hyped right now on Solana. So yeah, good for her. Shout out to Bangers.
I think one of the other things that we'd love to shout out is Forma City over in November. Farhaj. Oh man, I fucking love Farhaj.
Hell yeah. That's a banger video, by the way. First, I was like, damn, 3 minutes. I don't have that time. But then I was like, okay, I got to watch it. So I watched it. And again, production quality, top notch. Shout out to Goldfish. I'm pretty sure that you guys did it. And obviously, shout out to Farsh and the whole Forma team, Phil and everyone who's cooking, because Forma is now coming to Georgia, to Tbilisi in Georgia, which is a very underrated city, I think, in the Eastern European part. And there's supposedly a lot of economic possibilities and chances in that part of the world that I wasn't even aware of, which is exactly what Forma stands for.
Really cool. I am so in awe of the amount of work that Farhaj puts into each event. It actually kind of blows my mind how many, like, people like me, like, I have my safe spaces, right? My safe spaces are like Seoul, Chiang Mai, Thailand, Da Nang, Vietnam, maybe New York, like these at Dubai, like these are my safe spaces, right? But Farhaj is a man that goes to every corner of the globe. We're talking Sri Lanka, we're talking Argentina and Buenos Aires, we're talking about Georgia. What's the city called again in Georgia? Where's it going to be?
Tbilisi.
Tbilisi, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sure that
to pronounce.
Yeah.
It misses some characters. The word. If you look at it as an English speaker. Yeah.
And I bet you that he has like a whole laundry list of different countries that he wants to run Forma in. So, I mean, I just give massive respect to Farhaj, because I think he might be the most adventurous, as well as, I don't know, he's one of those guys that puts his money where his mouth is. Like, everyone talks about onboarding the next billion people, blah, blah, blah. But like, I don't really see anyone else doing it as widely as Farhaj does. It's quite impressive. We got to get him on the podcast, man.
Bro, we had him on the podcast. He was literally replacing you. Well, that's why you don't know, because you weren't there. But yeah, we didn't have him on the podcast as an official interview guest, but he was there as in disguise, and he walked us through the agenda. But yeah, happy to have him as an interview guest as well at some point.
Yeah, dude is an absolute animal. And I don't know if there's anything else here that we want to share. I think we've covered just about everything.
Yeah, I think it's good. I think we gave a good rundown. There's going to be more. There's going to be more news very soon, because we're bringing more content in a bit later this week. But for now, we call it a day, and thank you for tuning in for the latest and greatest on Solana, directly from your Sol Bros, shipped to your doorstep. And make sure to follow us wherever you can, because we are not done yet shipping content. We will do more if you want it or not. So stay safe out there when it comes to the trading charts, because right now, yeah, it stays a bit risky right now, but I'm sure you got it. Yeah. And if you feel uncertain, then make sure to tune in again when we're live for the next one. Until then, have a good start in the week, or a good week wherever you are, and we'll see you at the next one.
See ya. Okay. Timeline reactions. Ready to read these scripts?
Yes. Are we doing it with our live stream friends? Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Okay. So thank you so much for joining the stream. We are going to record a couple of timeline reactions to help spread the word, not just for the Solana ecosystem, but also cool things that are happening around the world. Some of them are cool, some of them are not. Simon, which ones do you want to cover? I'm happy to do 2 out of the 3, or if you want to do it vice versa, totally fine. I'm very flexible.
Yeah. Whatever. I'll just start with the BNB, then you do the next one, and you can do the PayPal as well if you want.
Sure, no problem.
Let's see how it goes.
Okay.
Okay, guys. So if you're on the live stream right now, obviously, as you know, we're recording things for the actual podcast, and you are live with us. So that's why it feels a little bit like you're backstage right now, because you are. So these content pieces are going to be shorts for Soul Brothers. So first one. BNB just surged to a new all-time high of $1,020. BNB, Binance chain, just hit a fresh all-time high at $1,020 for a coin that many people wrote off after CZ's legal trouble. It's still proving it has serious staying power. At this point, it feels like no matter what happens, BNB just won't quit.
Okay, cut. That's short number 1. Short number 2. Trump just imposed a $100,000 annual fee on the H-1B visas. Trump just signed an order slapping a $100,000 fee on H-1B visas. The idea is to push companies to hire more American workers, but it's hitting tech circles pretty hard. For big firms, this means hiring foreign engineers just got a lot more expensive. Supporters are calling it protections for U.S. jobs, while critics warn it'll drive top talent overseas. Either way, it's a big move that could change how tech companies operate in the United States. Short number 2. And moving over to short number 3. Boom.
Let's go.
PayPal just rolled out crypto for peer-to-peer payments, enabling direct BTC, ETH, and stablecoin transfers, which is crazy. PayPal just flipped the switch on crypto for P2P payments. Now there are over 400 million users can send BTC, Ethereum, or even stablecoins directly to each other. This is huge because it's simple, it's cheaper, and it's global. PayPal is basically onboarding people who might have never touched crypto. Let's try that again.
To never touched crypto.
Yeah.
What?
All right.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Take 2. Boom. PayPal just rolled out crypto peer-to-peer payments, enabling direct Bitcoin, Ethereum, and stablecoin transfers, which is crazy. PayPal just flipped the switch on crypto for P2P payments. Now there are over 400 million users can send Bitcoin, Ethereum, or even stablecoins directly to each other. This is huge because it's simple, it's cheaper, and it's global. PayPal's basically onboarding people who might have never touched crypto before, and they're not stopping here. More chains and features are already in the pipeline. All right.
Ooh.
Boom.
Actually, pretty crazy. Not gonna lie. Like this.
Yeah. No, that's
obviously, guys. We're reading scripts here. That's how short I made. But shout out to our intern and social media expert Boop for helping us with these. They were actually really good. But the news are pretty crazy. Like PayPal doing crypto payments. I think we made it. I think crypto is here to stay. Fair to say. And Trump kicking out foreigners. Okay, that's nothing new. And BNB at $1,000. That's pretty crazy. So yeah, good. I think those are good shorts with a good surprise factor. But yeah, that's it, guys. I think we have everything we need. So I hope you had a good live stream with us and enjoyed the time. And we're gonna log off and send you back into the metaverse. And yeah, we'll see you on Thursday again, because we're most likely gonna stream again on Thursday for just another one of these.
Yes. Okay. Thanks, everybody. Take it easy. Have a good evening.